All right. Thanks for coming with me. You're not an easy person to find, you know. I hope I'm not keeping you from anything. I could have guessed that, but can't be too sure. Can I interest you in a drink? No, it's not a problem. Let me get behind the counter for you. Relax. It's on me, within limitations, of course. No, this bar isn't open so early. Usually they wait till Bible study is finished. I just asked the owner if a man of the cloth can tend the bar. She thought it was funny and told me to knock myself out. So what can I get you? A wheat beer. Perfect for breakfast. Here you go. I think they may have some snacks here too. There we are. Some sunflower seeds. Here's an empty bowl for the shells. I think I'll have a wheat one myself. That I am, but I'm not like other priests. See, other priests, they go where the saints are. I go where the sinners are. You tell me who needs more help. Besides, this is a much better place for a confessional. At the church, people tell you about the sins they think you should be having. Here is where the good stuff comes out. The no antibiotic, no GMO, free-range, ethically sourced sin. You know what I'm talking about. None of this. I think I might have coveted my neighbor's house, and more of the now's my chance with that deployed person's wife. On the West Coast, the bar I own, I keep a little notebook for every person's confession. Every year I bring it to the higher-ups to show them what they've been missing. Show them all the business they've been avoiding. Oh dang, I'm preaching. Sorry, son, it's a habit. Are you still living with your mom? Good idea. Save yourself some money, no shame in that. How's she doing? I noticed that she wasn't with you. That can be pretty tough. Your mom really liked to hold on to things. I think the last time we spoke, you sent her a copy of the Stars and Stripes newspaper from when you first got in country. Does she still have that? She framed it. Well, I'll have to come by and meet her. Is she a good cook? Well, that settles it. You tell her I'm in town this week. I'll bring the ingredients if she cooks. Oh, but I do. I gotta meet the woman that raised you while I still have a chance. Because I'm only here for the week. I'll leave Sunday night. Taking the red eye. You still talk to any of your old comrades? You don't feel like reaching out to them? Nothing. You don't have to. Where are you working these days? I see. So you have some long days, I bet. And you still find time to keep up the house? Busy man. I almost feel bad for taking up your hard-earned time. Almost. You ought to give that Bible study a try. And people aren't there for their lesson. People are there for each other. If I recall, you did very well in that sort of environment. And this time it'll be less work. So what? Who is like anyone else? You go to the same building every week, so that's something you got in common. But I hear you only recently returned to this church. Now, my math might be a little off, but there were several years between when you left active duty and when you came back here to worship. Huh. Free country indeed. I'll not get into that, but yes, it's a choice, of course. You don't have to, but you did, and I'm glad. A lot of people are glad, I'm sure. Though the busybodies who carried the news to me of your return, they seemed disappointed that you didn't already have chicks of your own. I told them that some birds raise chicks and some birds don't. There again, it's a choice. It's just you fell off everyone's radar at the same time and picked up years later. Can't help but wonder what happened to our prodigal son. It's not just you. I have a picture of every lost soul from that mission. Whenever I find out what happened to that person, I move their picture. Every night I look at the pictures and say, Lord, I lost them. Would you please return them? Well, I moved everyone else's already except yours. I'd almost given up hope and put you away prematurely. Oh well. It's not like it's your job to give me a hobby. So you don't have chicks. Are you thinking about it? Like I said, it's fine if you don't. I'm just curious. A lot of people have no children and live happy, fulfilling lives. It's not a prerequisite for a lot of people. I honestly wish more people would do that. You might be surprised how many people have children just so that they can prove to the world that they're better than their own parents. It's hit or miss. But at the end of the day, you can see that it didn't make much of a difference. Sometimes they hate their kids like they hate their parents, and by that time it's too late. You, though, it's not too late. You're not committed to something you can't change. Maybe that's your takeaway from all that combat. Say, I noticed when it came time for Holy Communion, you abstained. Yeah, I know. Free country. Is there a reason, though? I don't suppose you're one of those people that needs grape juice? That would be awkward with you being here. Well, that's outstanding. I'm glad to hear you've been staying clean. You can still partake in the sacrament of Holy Communion, though. You went through confirmation, catechism, didn't you? I thought so. What stopped you? Well, that's the crux of the argument if I ever heard one. Well, you're technically correct. You don't deserve it, but that doesn't really matter. No one does. If any person somehow deserved it, which I doubt, they wouldn't need it. You get it anyway. So, I've heard this before. It's unfortunately common. Someone thinks that they have somehow done something so horrible that it's beyond repenting for. I don't know what you did, but it's nothing God can't handle. He even says so in the book of Romans. His power and his love are both infinite and tandem. His power is infinitely loving, and his love is infinitely capable. Our Father who created all things created not one thing able to defeat his love. But here you are, foolishly saying so. Do you not believe? And if you don't, why not just make an appearance and enjoy the wine? Don't worry though. I got you covered. O Lord our God, bless us with your grace. Make these sunflower seeds into your body and this beer into your blood. May we receive you into our hearts so that we can remember your gifts to us. Amen. So, are you tired of ceremony yet? Can you handle one more? Absolutely. There you are. You might need that in a moment. It'll make sense, don't worry. Let me give this a little bit of context. I was surprised to find out a lot of soldiers have medals that they don't know about. Someone drops the ball between approving the awards and presenting it. A lot of soldiers go the rest of their careers, the rest of their lives, oblivious to their recognition. In your case, I think your admin sergeant had it out for you. He said he processed your award, but the command declined to award you. You mean him? Oh yeah, I agree. I hoped you wouldn't say that about the medal you earned. Well, if it makes any difference, he lost his job before he could retire. He deserved it too. You know that formal ball your old unit puts on every winter? There's a fund put aside for that event. A pretty substantial amount of money. Your old admin sergeant took that money and used it to fund his blues rock band. Easy now, easy now. He didn't get away with it. Justice is served. Guy must have known his higher-ups were suspicious of him because he was shredding paper when they came into his office. They stopped him. They questioned him. They took over the documents and they found him guilty of fraud. They even found more than they bargained for. Notary fraud, too. They tried to keep his dismissal hush-hush since he had so many friends up on the ladder. I might have never known about it, but the truth about the circumstances came out in a bar like this one. See what I mean? Get these premium, corn-fed confessions. The good stuff. Among the papers waiting to be shredded was your recommendation for award. Even after you left, someone kept submitting it. See? People remember you. You can read it for yourself. I honestly get a little choked up. It's already happening. Give me a moment, please. You ready for another one? There you go. To Sergeant Maxwell Bosch, in recognition of extraordinary gallantry demonstrated during Operation Manitou's Mouth. Oh, yikes. I'm sorry, I understand. It's a touchy subject. So the paperwork recommends a Bronze Star with Valor device. Big Army upgraded it to a Distinguished Service Cross. Maybe they knew it was for a bird and they thought you'd like a shiny little trinket. I think you know why we're not here in front of a formation. Let me ask you something. If I sent you a letter telling you to report so that you could receive this medal, would you have come? I figured, but I would ask anyway. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Not a lot of people get this. It doesn't do much in this point of your life. Might look good on a resume. There would have been some promotion points for you, but that job doesn't interest you anymore. I don't blame you. Sure is nice. You'll be the shiniest person at Applebee's on Veterans Day. And give it a shot, you might like it. But keep that paper with you when you do. You never know when a quiet 75-year-old finds his voice and says, "Stolen valor." No, actually, that doesn't happen very often where I am. Esprit de corps is a little different on the West Coast. especially in Portland. I get emails from my dad every month or so asking if I've been captured by the Satanist cult yet. That's his weird way of saying I love you. Do you still talk to your dad? I'm sorry to hear that. That had to have been rough. Do you have any siblings? That makes sense. I could have pegged you for a middle child. You're independent, you're self-sufficient, pessimistic. I'm not saying that every middle child has to be like this, but you fit the mold. So how long did you have your father for? And that's a shame. If he had made it in another few years, he might have seen you graduate basic training. Why would he not be impressed? Pretty big shoes to fill. Bet he doesn't have that medal, though. If that's not impressive, I don't know what is. If you had a chick of your own and found out they earned this Distinguished Service Medal, would you be proud of them? That's not a bad answer, actually. You know what it's like, so it makes sense that you would want them to be okay. But would you find them unimpressive? Are you sure? You wouldn't expect more of them? That's not even the highest medal you can achieve. It's the diet soda of heroism, isn't it? Right, of course you would be proud of them. I can't say if your dad would be proud of you or not, but he should be. If he's not, he's wrong. There's no two ways about it. I think the bar is about to open for real. That means I should get going. Hang out if you want to. Just remember to tip your server.